Hi everyone, and welcome back to Nick's Diecast. For today's video, I'll be showing you and reviewing this 1/18 scale 1999 Ford Mustang GT 35th Anniversary Edition made by Maisto. This is actually one of many models that Maisto made of the fourth generation Mustang, which was produced from 1994 until 2004. And in 1999, the car received a significant facelift. It gained kind of these more angled headlights. They call it like the new edge trend with Ford, where they redesign a lot of their cars to kind of reflect this like certain style. I know that also the Ford Focus was considered a part of this like kind of period in Ford's history and whatnot. But Maisto, in terms of the fourth generation Mustang, they made a wide variety of these cars in their 1/18 scale line. So to do kind of a quick little buyer's guide here, Maisto made the 1999 Mustang in both coupe and convertible forms in their 1/18 scale line. In addition to that, they also made the 2000 Cobra, which is pretty similar to this one, but it had different wheels, different engine, and the spoiler was a little bit bigger in the back, but the details on them are pretty similar otherwise. And Maisto also made the 2003 Mustang SVT Cobra in both coupe and convertible versions in their 1/18 scale line. Now that model of the three is the most sought after. Any version of the 2003 SVT Cobra tend to go for a lot of money when you see it on sites such as eBay and whatnot. But pretty much all of Maisto's fourth generation Mustang models are pretty sought after. And this is the 35th anniversary edition version of the 99 Mustang, where it has the special paint and the special interior treatment that I'll show you throughout. But Maisto isn't making any of these 1/18 scale Mustangs in their lineup anymore, but they were made for such a long time that they're easily findable on eBay and whatnot. Some are more expensive than others, and some are more rare than others. The most expensive I've seen are the blue convertible versions of the 2003 Cobra. They go for sometimes several $100s on eBay. The anniversary editions, they do come up on eBay, but not really that frequently. But when they do, they go for maybe a little bit more money, like $40 to $50, sometimes, as low as 20. This one my grandparents got for me at a toy train meet. I think they paid like $20 for it. This is about almost 10 years ago now. But overall, I think its details are great. And if you're a fan of Mustangs, I think Maisto really kind of has us budget collectors covered with these fourth gen models. So we'll go ahead and get into the details of this model here. We'll start up here at the front. Nice job with these lights here. They do have 2 pegs in them each. But other than that, they do a nice job with the bulbs and that kind of black perimeter on them. And they fit nice and flush with the body too. The honeycomb grill up here looks pretty good. Wish it was perforated, but this badge is actually a separate piece. This Mustang badge up here. And this lower grill down here, that actually is a hollowed out piece, which is cool to see. And you get separate little pieces for these fog lights down here too. The paint quality overall on this car looks very good. This is one of the choices that you could get for the anniversary edition model. It also came in silver too, but both versions came with a special badge up here. You had the black in front of the hood scoop and the two-tone black and silver interior treatment. I think there was also a black version too. Maisto also made the anniversary edition convertible in black, and I think one other color too. And the convertible is pretty much the same thing as the coupe, but obviously you have a roof. So this review could apply to both the 99 convertible and the 99 coupe, depending on which one you actually want to get. So taking a look at the side, Maisto, I would say, did a nice job with these wheels here. Very basic 5 spokes, but you do get the nice Mustang badge in the center there. You also get spinning brake discs too. They don't have calipers with them, but at least they spin with the wheel. Very good suspension. Kind of bouncy too. It's weird, like I poke the car and it just kind of shakes around. Good suspension up front too. Well, kind of noisy, but it's very good. And of course you get full steering too. And displaying the Mustang at any angle I think looks really cool. Panel gaps are overall nice and flush, kind of a bigger one up here, but this is a white car, so if you get the black or dark red versions, you'll barely see any kind of gaps in them. Nice separate pieces for these turn signals back here. There's a little peg, but I prefer these over, painted on turn signals. You also get separate plastic pieces for these side intakes here and these mirrors, both of which are very sturdy. Well, this not so much, but if it ever falls off, you can always just put a little bit of glue on it. Back here, nice looking taillights, kind of your basic red taillights. I like how they did the shape of them. They're kind of like slatted a little bit. There is a small peg in each of these, which is a bit annoying to see, but at least the rest of the lights look well done. There's, you know, a nice flush fit between the light and like the metal body. And you get a spoiler up here too. There's a very slightly different pigment in the white of the spoiler than there is on the white paint of the car. I think because this is just a white piece of plastic. So on any of Maisto's and Mustang models, just watch out for that. And don't display this in sunlight too much, because that might contribute to like the fading of the pigment of the plastic parts. It's also a slight bit loose too, but that's actually good, because then if you ever want to modify your model and like take off the spoiler, then you can easily do that just by pulling it off. Careful not to break it though. I like how this Mustang is actually etched into the metal here. Maisto could have done like a cheap thing and just put a big sticker or something like that. But they did the full-on like metal engraving back here, which I think is really, really cool. And you get the Ford badge and the GT badge back here, along with the manufacturer plate. Also a little grill, a small little grill down here, and that's actually see-through too. Doesn't really see in, you can't really see into anything, but at least Maisto added that little extra touch there. Nice exhaust pipes. They maybe look a bit too small, but they are hollowed out at least, in spite of being chrome. So opening features, of course, you do get an opening trunk back here. Not really anything to see in there. There is kind of like a rough texture, and the full inside is actually lined. You don't get any kind of liner underneath the trunk lid. It's just undersprayed paint, which most of Maisto's models from the 90s had. If this were to be reintroduced today in Maisto's lineup, they would definitely like fully paint the inside. You can definitely tell it's underspray. They would definitely fully paint the inside of this trunk and maybe have some lining underneath the trunk lid. But it opens up at an angle that you can't really see it, so it's really not that big of a deal. And of course, we'll take a look under the hood. Maisto actually does include a little prop rod here. You just pull it up like so, and then there's actually a little slot engraved into the hood where you can put that in there, like so. Of course, I don't need it right now because the hood's actually holding up well on its own, but eventually I might need to use the prop rod. So Maisto did a really nice job with this engine in here. The GTs, or the GT versions of the Mustang, all came with this V8, and Maisto did a really nice job of doing a replica of that in here. You can see there's lots of wiring down below there, all separate pieces. There's even a little Mustang badge on this component back here. You can see like all the cylinders and everything. But definitely one of Maisto's better engines. There actually is a slight lack of detail up here, but honestly, everything else looks really well done. Like this is a separate piece. I count at least like 7 or 8 separate pieces in this engine, and most of Maisto's newer models don't have that. You might get like 1 piece, and if you're lucky, maybe 2 pieces. But this is back when Maisto actually made full-on 3-dimensional engine pieces. And of course, you can see down at the bottom of the car. It's just hard. Like there's some light through this little tiny hole here, but I think that's a very cool touch. Cool thing about these doors is that they actually click shut when you close them, and you can actually hear them do that. Yeah, like so. So when you shake the model, they don't open or anything. They open up very wide because they are on these kind of dog-leg hinges. A lot of Maisto's older models use dog-leg hinges that have their doors open instead of the spring-loaded hinges. So they would probably open up like this if it was spring-loaded, but they open wider because they're made of dog legs. Nice detailing on these door panels here. I like that kind of different texture they use for the silver inserts on the side, and that kind of leather pattern you see across the rest of this door panel. There's some very small detailing of these buttons down here, but they're not really colored in or anything, but at least you have the multiple textures on there. They look very good. And of course, on the center stack here, all the buttons are separately labeled and painted on. They look very well done. Nice pattern going across the whole dashboard. They even put in this little Mustang inscription that you saw on most of these Mustangs dashboards. Nice detailing with these vents too. They almost look like they're 3-dimensional like pieces too. The shifter is also very well done. It even has like the leather wrinkles around it because this is a manual. So you have that cool looking shifter there. Separate piece for the parking brake, as you can see here. Kind of a rough texture on the floors too, which is cool. The seats look very well done. They have that awesome like 2-tone black and a silver treatment to them. And the seat backs do move a little bit. They don't really stay in place, but they are adjustable, which is a cool touch. And they have a nice leather pattern on them too. Even like the small like wrinkles at the ends of the seats. Maisto did a really nice job of like replicating that. You also have separate seatbelt pieces too. And even the back seat is also very well done. You have the seatbelt buckles and also the seatbelts themselves back there. Nice job on the steering wheel too. You got the Mustang badge along with a little tiny airbag logo in the center. A little bit loose for the steering wheel piece, but at least it does turn the wheels nice and smooth. Then you got the sticker behind the steering wheel for the gauge cluster. There are pedals, but they're done in black and they're very kind of set far back, so you can't really see them too well. I might go in there and paint them silver, or color them in silver with like a silver Sharpie, because that would really look good with these silver seats, I think. I forgot to mention that these badges on here, they're stickers, and a lot of Maisto's 1990s models had at least one sticker on their models for badges, so just be careful with that, especially if you're buying one used that was already out of the box. It might be missing or otherwise kind of, like coming off. So just be careful when you're cleaning the model so the badges don't, fall off or anything. Looking at the undercarriage, Maisto did a pretty good job with this undercarriage. You can see all the engine components that we saw from up above, and look, there's the hood opening right there, so you can kind of see, and there's a little prop rod too. They do a nice job up here. They do it in silver instead of chrome. Cool. A lot of times Maisto just does the whole thing in chrome, but on this one, they actually separate these pieces. So this one's silver and this one's chrome. You don't really see that level of detail on a lot of these Maistos on their undercarriages. Of course, the rest of the undercarriage is mostly made of black plastic, but you're not going to be looking down here that much anyway, so that's not too big of a deal. Overall, I would say all of Maisto's models of the 4th generation Mustang are very good deals, especially if you're a fan of the Mustang. Some higher-end manufacturers have made models of this generation. I know Auto Art made the Mach 1 from 2003 and also the 2004 special edition of the Mustang. But Maisto, I think, is a real bang for your buck for this particular generation of the car. And again, this anniversary edition comes in both the coupe and the convertible. You also have the regular 99 Mustang in both coupe and convertible. They come in a wide variety of colors. Then you have the 2000 Cobra and the 2003 Cobras. They all vary in price, and some go for a lot more than others depending on color and body style and whatnot. But if you can find any of these models for a good price, I'd say it's well worth it for your collection because of the details and all that. All right, hope this review was helpful, and as always, feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on the model, and thanks for watching.